ओम
Gita
नमो
ki
भगवते
jai.
वासुदेवाय।
Jai.
Hari Bol. Okay, chapter 2. What's the name of the chapter?
Sankhya Yoga.
Sankhya Yoga.
Contents of the Gita summarized.
Contents of the Gita summarized. This is Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. That's chapter 2. Okay. Which verse did we discuss last week? Up to which verse?
2.14.
Hello, sir.
2.14. Hare Krishna. How are you, Randhir?
Good, sir.
So, we discussed 2.14, 2.14 last time.
Yes, sir.
Can someone explain 2.13 to me without looking into the book, if it is possible? But if you have to, have a look. What is 2.13? And have you understood 2.13? Yes, Abhijit.
So I don't know the entire recitation, but it is about the soul which travels through a body to body and it remains permanent.
It is very simple. Please repeat after me. You will remember
Yes.
it.
Yes,
Trust
sir.
me. Tehino
Dehino
asmin yatha dehe
tasmin yatha dehe
kaumaram yauvanam jara.
kaumaram yauvanam jara.
So what does it mean? Tehino asmin yatha dehe. So
The
the
body.
body keeps on changing. Deha asmin yatha dehe. The deha keeps on changing. Deha changes from one body to another. So deha keeps on changing. Deha to deha. Deho asmin yatha dehe. So one deha to another deha.
Deha.
Deha asmin yatha dehe. It's a travel. How does it travel? Kaumaram
Maram
yauvanam jara.
yauvanam jara.
So Kaumaram is boyhood,
Boyhood.
Yauvanam is youth, Jara is old age.
Old age.
Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara. Deha travels, Deha
From body.
changes, Dehinomsmin Yatha Dehe, Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara. This is the first line. Very simple.
Yes.
Okay. Then next one is, it says,
Tatha
Tatha Dehantara Praptir.
Tatha dehantara praptir.
So looking at this change of the body, Tatha Dehantara Praptir,
Praptir.
Dhirastatrana Muhyati. Dhira means a
Veera.
sober person, he does not get bewildered. A very simple verse. So Deha keeps on changing. Dehino smin yatha dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Yauvanam jara.
From boyhood to youth
Youth
to
to old
old
age.
age. Tatha dehantara praptir. Tatha, looking at this changes of the body. Dhirastatrana muhyati. Dhira, Dhira Purush. You know, we say Dhira Purush. Dhira. Marathi word hai. इतकी कशाला घाई जरा धीर धरा सब बोलता ना तुम्ही isn't it? That's how we say in Marathi, right? Dhira, dhira dhara, sober, be composed. Dhira statra na muhyati. So a sober person does not get bewildered by this change. Okay, only a drunkard will be bewildered, who is in illusion. So an intelligent person will not have this. Practically speaking, have you thought about this verse? How do you understand this? Yes, Randhir, are you raising your hand? I'm.
No, sir. I'm trying
There
to
is some.
increase the volume.
Okay. I thought there is a hand, there on your camera. Okay, no problem. All right. Yes, Aditi, your personal understanding, your own understanding, realization.
With 2.32.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now you're on that page. Good. Okay, Abhijit, you can continue because you're already on that page, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when last time, as I understood through the discussion, like when we see a child, who is growing up, like we see the child when he was in the childhood or boyhood. playing in our arms and all those things. After a while, when we see him in the youth, we get like, oh, how tall you have become, you have got a
Yes.
muscular body, something like that. So a sober or a composed person will be happy, or has to be happy, or has to show that he's happy, but he has to be, composed, saying that it should not be it should not be too much of uh, uh, what do you say, illusion in front of him. That is what Krishna is trying to say to Arjun, that you will
So
be
what
happy, but it should not be very much, you should not be very much illusioned, you should not give up to the illusion so much that you get bewildered by that.
how do you understand it? I mean, how do you understand? What are your
Sir, it is
words?
it is in my words, it is natural that when we see anything, not a boy, let's say a plant which I will, you know sow, and I give water to it and it starts blooming and the flowers come, I will be happy. But it should not be so much happy in this, what that is what I understood. It should not be that I get, oh, I have done a great job, or I get very proud that I can go and do plantations.
I'll give you a clue to all of you, which will be a food for thought. So you think and tell me how would this thought will further be understood. So we see something, and now you think that is somebody seeing us. Okay, think in those terms. What happens if someone else is seeing us, and what is our position when someone else sees us?
So
Based on
Prabhuji,
this thought, yes.
so it's basically that that scientific experiment, that the results change the moment there is a observer.
No, 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 no. It's a very simple thing than that deep thought, Randir. It is a simple understanding. Now, what Krishna is saying in this verse is that when you see the changes outside,
Right.
you don't get bewildered. Krishna is saying that. But if you take the other way around, do other people see changes in you?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Can you think in that direction?
Right. Right. I took it the other way wrong. I thought that we act in a certain way, but the moment we realize that other people are looking at us, our actions start. We start changing
Yeah,
our
that is
actions.
people consciousness. Now that is different.
Right. Right. Right.
So that is because you're conscious about people. Now that is
Right.
the
Right. You become
different
conscious
thought
of it.
process. Yeah, that is a
Okay.
different psychological process. We'll come to that
Right.
later.
Right, sir.
We'll come to that later when we come to understanding that there is Krishna. So you should be Krishna
Okay. Okay.
consciousness rather
Right.
than people conscious.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
because we don't think that there is Krishna around us. But when we understand that, then we don't care about people. We think that, oh, Krishna is here, I have to act that way.
Right, sir.
Okay, so coming back to the same point, do they see change in us? Do other people see change in us?
Yes,
Correct.
yes, they do.
Do you see that change in yourself, which they tell
No,
you?
No.
no.
Interesting, no? Isn't that interesting?
See,
Yes, Aditi.
I see what
You see what?
what people have told me that you have changed in XYZ. I know that I have changed. Realize,
Okay, you feel that way
yes, I feel.
Bef- before they tell you or after they tell you?
Before they tell me,
Okay,
I
you
only
know that, huh?
have changed so much.
Oh, very nice. That means the people who are telling you, they know you like you do yourself. Indicates that.
But
I'll
sir,
give you
would
a
that
simple
be?
example.
Go
I'll
ahead,
give you a
please.
very simple example. I will give you a simple example. You meet a person after 10 years. He tell you, अरे यार क्या बुड्ढा हो गया तू? Do you feel that? कि मैं बुड्ढा हो गया हूँ? Tell me frankly. Would you feel it? Would you feel
Sir,
that?
I'd be happy.
Yeah, that is a different thing altogether.
No, because
This
he's
is
become Buddha too, right?
no. See, this is another thought. I'm just sticking to your own self. Just think about your own self. Do you think that way? No. For you, the world is the same, isn't it? What has changed for you if you look at outside? वही है सब कुछ. वही घर में रहते हो. 10 साल से अगर रह रहे हो उसी घर में, वही चीजें इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो. फॉर हैवंट चेंजेस फॉर तो टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हुआ है, ठीक है. अगर जॉब उसी में ही हो तो उसी में ही हो यार. सब कुछ बदला नहीं है. खाना पीना भी वैसा ही है मेरा ऑलमोस्ट. हाँ, थोड़ा सा डाइटिंग करता हूँ अभी. बट दे लुक एट यू. अरे तू कितना बुढ़ा हो गया है यार. हैव यू हर्ड दिस? हैव यू हर्ड दिस? अरे यार तू कितना मोटा हो गया तू. इट पिंचेस, इजंट इट? मजा नहीं आता सुन के. इज इट व्हाट यू थिंक अबाउट योरसेल्फ? नो, वी डोंट. हमको लगता है हम वैसे ही हैं. बट पीपल टेल यू यू हैव चेंज्ड. बॉडीली, ओनली बॉडीली. नेचर का बात छोड़ दो, साइकोलॉजी का बात छोड़ दो, मेंटली इमोशनली वो सब छोड़ दो. डोंट गेट इनटू दैट लेवल. ओनली फिजिकल, ओनली बाहर की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. बॉडी. तेरा पेट कितना निकला है. तेरे बाल सफेद हो गए हैं, टकला हो गया है. तेरा ये क्या बोलते हैं, यू नो, यू हैव गॉन ओल्ड. झुर्रियां निकल आई हैं तेरे को, आंख के नीचे गड्ढे पड़ गए हैं तुझे. You heard these things, right? We hear these things. And you build on that. You get affected. Yes or no? अरे यार उसने कैसे बोल दिया मुझे ऐसा. It sticks, you know. Sometimes a 10-second talk sticks in your heart for 10 years. You know, it's very unfortunate, isn't it? Does happen. But do you feel from inside that what he's telling you? No, you don't. Others tell you. This is your body. What I'm trying to say is that when you don't know your own body is changing, only you hear others and then perceive on that. Why are you getting bewildered on the other body changes? This is what Krishna is telling them.
Sorry, Prabhuji. I could not join both the context.
Okay. So what is the problem with us? The problem with us is that we don't understand one basic thing, that I am not changing. My body is changing. I am not changing. I am the same person. But my body is changing. And that you won't know until you have a mirror in front of you. Imagine you didn't have a mirror right from your birth. आज जाके तुमको आईना दिखाया, कैसे पता पड़ेगा कि मैं कैसा दिखता था पहले? If there was no mirror. Imagine. कई दिन हम लोग अपनी शक्ल नहीं देखते आईने में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, रोज तो वही हुई यार. I cut my hair short so much. I don't have to comb my hair every day. स्नान करके मुंह के निकल गया कहीं पे भी. Didn't even look at the mirror. How would I know if I look at myself after 15 days or 15 years if I'm the same person? For example, I go shave, बाल करके वापस आ जाता हूँ. I continue all these things. Other people will tell you how do you look. The mirror will tell you how do you look. You don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you getting this? You understand this? We don't feel that we are fat. Others tell you you are fat. We don't feel that we are old unless we are diseased, you know, unless there are such, we say that. But just with the body, others tell you. You don't know. So who's changing? What is changing? the body is changing. You are the same. Do you understand this? It's a very simple fact,
Now I got it.
but we don't realize until we think about it. Very simple understanding. Krishna is saying exactly what is happening, but we don't realize that. Yeah? Because we are so much connected with the external world, so much connected with the external material world that we don't even think that what do we feel. You may be remembering some things, from your childhood. Yes. Now, for instance, you were at a place in your childhood, and luckily that place is still the same. Unfortunately, things change over a period of time. Like I went to a place called Kota, Rajasthan. You would have heard about this place. I used to live there. It's famous for IIT institutes. My friends run IIT institutes there now. We were in the same school and colleges there. School basically. College I went to after 10th I was in Mumbai. So I went back to Kota, Rajasthan, the one which I had seen when I was little, year 3, year 4. I was there. I used to love that place. We used to play cricket, we used to go around in the bushes and, go for hiking and all those things. Those places are not there at all. Now there are institutes, there are buildings. The place is completely changed. But luckily, if some place which you go back and if it is still the same, how would you feel? You'll feel the same, right? Isn't it? Will there be an age difference? No. You'll start recollecting, यार ये तो ऐसा था, ये ऐसा ही है. This is all the same. It's still the same. Only if someone over there looks at you, यार तू कितना बदल गया है. Until then, you are the same person. Does it make sense? You are the same child. Yes. So what has changed?
Body.
Only the deha is changed.
The body matter.
Deha asmin yatha dehe. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tatha dehantara praptir. So when the body leaves, when the soul, when you leave this body and go to the other body, why you should be bewildered?
Hmm. Makes sense now.
If you are getting bewildered, either you are under the intoxication of people or either you are the intoxication of this material world. You are deeply affected. That is not the right position. Krishna tells Arjun, my friend, no. You are in a concoction. You are not being sober. Sthira Purush, Dhira Purush, he doesn't think like that. He doesn't get bewildered. So, what is that makes you feel or makes you bewildered? It's your consciousness. स्थिर नहीं है consciousness. It's getting connected to everyone. Your mind gets attached to different things. It's not stable. You're not able to think carefully. If someone tells you something about your body and you keep thinking for 2 days, it's wasting your time. Killing yourself. But people do that. People do that. They feel really hurt. They feel really bad. You wanted to say something, Randir?
Unmute yourself, Randir.
Thank you. So would this only apply to appearances, or could it also apply to relationships?
At the moment, we are
They
talking only about the body
okay,
because this
okay,
verse is related to Deha.
okay,
So it deeply affects us when someone talks about our body to us. Changes to
right.
our body.
So,
We start feeling then. Yes, Abhijit.
like you gave an example, somebody tells you that you have become fat or you have become old or whatever.
Yeah.
Person does not think about it but acts on it. What should we say about that? Should the person
Yeah.
act on it or not? Yes, right.
What will you act? Will you make yourself younger?
Yeah, you can.
How? How?
dye लगा के.
ठीक है
I mean,
ठीक है यार.
fat and all those things,
थोड़े
of
दिन में
course,
वापस ठीक हो
everybody
जाएगा. How long? वो
everybody
कितना टाइम रहता है? कितना दिन रहता है? वापस सफेद हो जाएगा ना.
सफेद तो हो
What will you
जाएगा.
do?
No, about
What will
the
you do?
hair
दाढ़ी को
and
क्या
all
करोगे?
is
मेरा दाढ़ी है. It's getting grey from me. क्या करूँ इसको मैं? डाई करूँ?
shave, shave.
हाँ, agree. वापस आ जाएगी 2 दिन में. How long can I hide it? You tell me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
That
problem
is
is
true.
not that. Problem is not that. Problem is not accepting it.
Yeah, the thing is, what I am saying is whether taking action on it, like somebody tells,
Take an
I have
action.
become fat,
That's okay. Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
action on it, realizing and
Yeah.
acting on it, does it
Yeah, that is okay. You keep yourself fit. This is good. Very good.
not?
You act on it and
Yeah,
you work out and do whatever. That is good. But don't get
yeah,
affected by it. मेरे को मोटा बोल
yeah.
दिया यार.
Okay, okay. Not
You don't
getting sad on it. Don't
don't
keep thinking.
lose your soberness on that.
Yeah,
Don't get bewildered by that.
get that.
Change is normal. होता है यार. ठीक है. हाँ ठीक है मोटा है. No
होना
problem.
भी चाहिए.
ठीक है. I mean, what's there? I mean,
Be
it's there.
be
Yeah, I know.
resilient to change.
It's accept it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, the change is normal. But the problem is that change is not accepted. Accept नहीं करने. I've seen people. I'll tell you, very close known person. He's got heart attack literally 3 times. He still drinks regularly. Still he drinks. And I tell him that as a friend, I told him that I think you should cut down on drinking. It may save you your life just with your past experiences. You had 3 heart attacks. You're lucky to survive after third one. Generally people don't, as per the records, as per the you know cases. Ultimately the death is in the hands of the creator. But you know you can, if you have the free will, you can cut down. He says no. He said now I feel more stronger because I have been able to handle it. This is his thinking. That's okay. He said because I have got 3 different types of metals in my heart. So he had one bronze, one silver, one gold ring. So you can actually choose the ring to open up your arteries. you know that's called angioplasty, that process where they put a ring and it opens up the artery. And that ring has variety. Gold, silver, bronze medal ऐसा मिलता है वो. You pay for the best to get that. So he's got different metals, platinum. He said, I have a metallic body now, metallic heart. That's what he thinks. I mean, for fun's sake, yeah, we can laugh it out. That's not right. You see, you so people try to show that I'm still young, I can drink, half a bottle of whiskey, no problem, nothing happens to me. But there are already 3 rings inside your heart. That doesn't make you a metallic man. You're weaker now. It's not stronger. So you know better. You know. Someone came and said that that the people who feel that very old someone was, he said you look really weak. He said, really? Only weak because I feel like crap from inside. So do feel. The body does make you understand, yes, I'm weak. Then you realize, but generally it is the people who tell you that there are bodily changes. You'd never come to know until you see a mirror or a feedback from people. Correct me if I'm wrong. You with me, everyone, on this?
Yes.
Yes? Yes? Until you feel, okay, I mean, the body's all right. Then why you should be bewildered by the change of one body to another? Krishna tells Arjuna. So who is I? Kalpesh, who am I?
Soul.
Very simple, isn't it? No
Mm.
brainer. No brainer. You can sit down, close your eyes. Just 5 minutes, you will understand I'm not
I,
this body.
I used to, last week I teased Randir, that if you want to, put your hand in like this, you can do it on my hair. So I shouldn't be doing that.
Sorry, say that again.
अभी मैं हिंदी में बोलूं चलेगा क्या? Easy होएगा.
What
Basically
does that mean? What are you trying to say?
रणधीर को थोड़ा मैं जला रहा था ना, रणधीर देख करके ऐसे.
Oh, because you got hair and he's
He doesn't.
not able to. Oh, is it? Okay. That's
So
fine.
I should not. He should not be bewildered with all these things, right?
Yeah. Neither you should be.
Bol.
Neither you should be excited that you have hair because they may go, as well.
Yeah,
It's more difficult to handle happiness
Yeah.
than
It's
grief.
it's
I would say Randir is more lucky because he does not have any. What do you say? He is not afraid of losing anything. You are.
The only thing is during winter time, boss, it's freezing cold.
I'm joining you. Don't worry, Randir. Soon. In
You
fact, I
have an
want to
option,
shave off my
Randir.
hair. If I
Uh,
take a diksha from my guru, he will tell me to shave whatever I have, as well.
sir, that is the best option.
But the reason for that is that I can't live in Canberra. I have to come and live in India for that. It's very cold here.
Uh,
Yeah. So my point is that do you get bewildered by that? If you get bewildered, then that means you're not doing the spiritual practice. You're not trying to understand yourself. You're still attached with your external sources.
Yeah, Prabhuji,
You're not. Yes.
to digest this specific thing, the person has to move from physical to at least the emotional stage, which we have discussed many times. At
It's
least to
more
that stage
said
is what I
internal.
feel.
So because you don't know basically at what levels until you start looking
muffin.
inside.
Mm.
Because we only depend on the information outside. We only trust and take the feedback from outside. Yeah. But if you look at it, I'm looking at you, I can only see the change in you. I can't see the change in myself. If I smile, you know I'm smiling. I think I'm smiling. I don't see that I'm smiling unless I'm on the camera, unless there is a mirror. Doesn't make sense. Sometimes people smile, but they look, they're crying. I have seen many people. वो हंस रहे वो पता कि हंस रहा है कि रो रहा है पता नहीं है मुझे. There are many people like that.
Yeah, my friend was like that. Then we used to say that he said my face is like that.
Yeah, I still remember I had a friend in my engineering college. His name was Rajendra Joshi. I still remember very well because he was my roommate. He had later he got the braces and got his teeth sorted. His teeth were really like out this way, and this guy used to sit in the front. And we used to go to Vidyalangar classes in Dadar, and there he used to get hit by the chalks by the those the strict professors. Why are you laughing? He said, "No, sir, my face is like that." Because his teeth are like that. It's always laughing. What would you do? He didn't know that he's laughing. Others thought he's laughing all the time. You see, how could you know? You don't know your own body. Others tell you. He didn't know that he's laughing. Everyone thought except him that he's laughing. So unfortunate. So this is the problem with us. This is the problem with us. That is the problem Krishna is highlighting very clearly. So don't get bewildered by this change. So these Drona, Bhishma, they are old. If you kill them, what will happen is they'll get new bodies, fresh bodies,
New garments.
wonderful bodies, fresh youth bodies, young ekdam. Why do you want? You are freeing them actually. Why are you worried? You see, just do your duty. That's all. And on top of that, it is explained in the purport. If you read that purport of that verse, Krishna says, Drona is my devotee. Bhishma is my devotee. They've done such wonderful works in their devotional service. They're going to come to me. They may not even get a body. So you release them quickly from that body. वो ऑलरेडी तंग है उस बॉडी में से भीष्मा तो बहुत तंग है बॉडी से
Yeah.
भी और वो दुर्योधन से भी
Yeah.
Sir ji,
he doesn't even want to fight
sir,
yes yeah
अगर अगर कोर्ट में ये बोल दिया ना, हाँ,
हाँ
लंबी जेल तक अगर जाएगा बंदा.
no but this is a war in the war soldier is allowed as per the law also to kill the other soldier
Yeah.
there is no law उधर थोड़ी दफा 300 तो लगेगा उसको 10 लोगों को मारेगा तो नहीं उधर कुछ नहीं होता उधर वो नहीं मारेगा तो सामने वाला मार देगा ठोक देगा उसको this is war you're standing in an army with people against you they're fighting spirit is fighting and who wants to fight the first पहला किसने शंख बजाया था who wants to fight the first huh?
Bhishma.
Bhishma
Bhishma.
the first one verse number 1 point now you should know all this yes
Last week.
1.13.
you're reading
1.13,
thoroughly now
I think.
1.13.
1.12
13 is Rishikesh.
1.12 he blows the conch shell he wants to fight quickly खत्म करने का मार दे उसको don't worry so the point is that you don't get bewildered and just do your duty that too if you understand your own self if you are bewildered by your body if someone comes if a boss comes and tells you in the morning hey man you're looking so lazy your eyes are so drowsy you're not looking that fit and based on his feedback you take that to your heart your whole day will be spoiled you won't be able to do your job yes but if it doesn't affect you at all imagine how much can you flourish you may be his boss next time because you're not feeling the bitterness of any words on the body. There's one devotee who went to his office wearing a tika. Can you believe it? Here in Australia, wearing a tika. Sorry. Wearing a tika, he went there. And someone says that, what is this kind of a thing you're wearing on your head, forehead? And that guy had just recently learnt the same thing, that I'm not this body, I'm a soul. He said, if you're looking at my body, I really don't care. Wonderful answer. You can't change my motivation by giving a feedback or a bad feedback on my body. Wonderful statement. You see, if that kind of a feeling if we have inside that, imagine the way you'll function in your life. Yes, Kshitij.
Yeah, I would like to add one more experience of my side as well. That we have friends who are doing a lot of more education. They're doing like from IIT, Ahmedabad, or all good institutes. They're trying to add more things to their profile,
Sure,
and they're beyond 40s. So when
sure.
we have been doing Bhagavad Gita now, and we know that when we talk to them, we tell them, अरे यार और कितने ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 20-25 साल जिएगा और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 10-20 साल नौकरी करेगा और कितना पढ़ाई करेगा तू unnecessary. So they totally get offended by such kind of statements that, when we say to them that you are old and you're doing something which will just reap you fruits for next 5 years or 10 years maximum. But yeah, again, each individual has a different way of looking at it. But if we consider 2.13, then and talk on these terms, I bet nobody can deny this fact that whatever you're doing is just temporary. Or
I'll tell you a very simple thing. You would never know if the other person is offended or not. You will only know if you are offended or not.
but they express it by whatever way, by
That's
saying out
okay.
something.
That's okay. But you cannot know if the other person is, what is he feeling? Very difficult to understand that. That is why we have psychologists and psychiatrists to read their minds, read others' minds.
Yeah.
The only person you will know is offended or not will be your own self. And that is the only thing you can change or modify based on this verse.
Yeah.
So if you, your own self, are not offended, then you've understood this verse.
Yeah, that's
Does it
right.
make sense?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. This will be applied. This is application.
But if we
If
compare
I
ourselves with
understand,
48 students, if our in of our school class now, at our age of beyond 40, and people are somewhere owning a company, some are going somewhere else, some are renowned, have got recognition and
that is
all that.
different.
But
See, that is based on the karma and their free will and their kshetra.
yeah,
We will discuss about that in chapter 3.
yeah,
About karma, different types and the reactions and the destiny, prarabdha, aprarabdha, all these things in detail we will discuss in chapter 3. It's going to be totally different understanding. It's a different level of thinking. But at the moment, the idea is that bodily changes should not affect you. Neither other body changes or yours. There is no need to compare also.
session.
What will happen is that if you don't know
The beaming at a low.
that your own body is changing and you don't know about it, yeah, but others tell you and you feel about it, you wouldn't stop even comparing yourself with others. Yeah, I'm of the same age. He's of the same age. He looks younger than me. I look older. He has done so many things in his life. I have not. This all things come when you are bewildered by the external changes. If you can hold this and not feel it, there are ways to do it. Krishna will tell you how. But if you are able to manage that and not feel too excited or too nervous about the external or bodily changes, you will be a better and successful person. That's what Krishna is telling Arjun. So that's 2.13 in a nutshell. Yeah?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
ever since Facebook came around, 2.13 became very difficult.
You don't even know whether the picture or the background the person is showing you is real or not on Facebook. Gossip is the basis of this social networking. If there is no gossip, there is no social networking. There is no fun in that.
So
You're
he's trying to give an explanation to that.
earning billions of dollars through gossip. People enjoy that. But if you get bewildered by that, then you have a problem. Okay. These are external things. Treat them as external. Treat them as external. They should only be kept external. अंदर से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. अगर अंदर से फर्क पड़ रहा है मतलब डीप कनेक्शन है बाहर, अंदर की तरफ कनेक्शन कम है. So we have to turn these things around slowly. Krishna will explain how. Are you understanding the thought which I'm trying to portray? Yeah. Okay. What is 2.14? Now Arjun says, I understand that. Okay. But even then, they are my grandfathers and my guru. I know I have to do my duty. But this is a problem. Yeah. That's why 2.14. The example of Shito Shana Sukha Dukkhada is a great example. In today's times, wouldn't you work or wouldn't you go to your office if it is freezing outside? We will, right? If there is severe high temperature, we will even go to the office and work. So doing the duty is important. The conditions may change. We have to tolerate that weather to do the duty. Now, everybody was in the lockdown from last year and a half. Did we stop working? We found out ways to work. Yes. We did meetings also. We are doing meetings. We found out ways. Krishna is saying the same thing. Just tolerate and do your duty. These are only sensory perceptions. Just external changes. Only senses will be affected by that. Outside. Do not get your internals being affected by this. Shitoshana Sukha Dukkhata. Sukha Dukkha is just like Shitoshana. Winter and summer. Just tolerate it. Okay? Yes, Rishi.
You said only senses will get affected. I mean, I think it is senses plus emotion also gets affected. You get affected
They should
emotionally.
not, right? When you
Should
do
not,
your
but
duty,
better
when
tolerating.
you
Yeah.
when your duty, you should not do your duty with emotions. That's what Krishna is saying. If you do your business with emotions, I'll ask Kalpesh. Kalpesh, would you like to do your business with emotions?
Not
Yes or
at
no?
all.
There you go.
No.
Would you like to do your work, Rishi, at office with emotions?
No,
Would you like to?
that is correct. I don't want to. No, I won't
Yeah,
want
good,
to do that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna is saying don't do that. Very simple.
Yes, but Arjun is saying that even then they are my, guru. They are my relative. Even then I'm affected.
Yeah, so control
So
it.
so when we exactly, so what are the
Yeah,
senses plus emotions also get affected, don't they?
yeah. In this case, yes, because they are his relatives.
Yeah. Okay.
But in our case, maybe not, because we're not working with our relatives.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So emotion should be out of question. But even then, if the emotions are coming, then something wrong with us.
Hmm.
Take the emotions out when you're doing your duty. Number one, if they're coming, tolerate it. Just tolerate. Generally, I'll tell you, when there is a stress, I had taken this, I think, in chapter 1 also. When there are, if there is everything good, if your work is getting completed on time, you're getting good feedback, it's all okay. If you're investing in business and the money is coming, returns are coming good, it's all okay. The problem is when there is a setback, when there is a stressful situation. Invest in business and there is a huge loss. Go to the work, do your work, even done nicely, you are not being giving the good feedback. You are being chastised. These are the times when there are issues. These are the time when the emotions are high. जब सब अच्छा feedback मिल रहा है, profit हो रहा है, then there is no problem. That is okay. Yes, but when there is a stressful situation, generally the mind acts like water. You know what's the tendency of water?
Try to find the path of least resistance.
Correct. So go lower. So whenever there is heavy rainfall, people try to go up. In Mumbai, it's a common problem. People try to go and keep their cars on top. You would have experienced it. In cities, metropolitan, people like to keep their vehicles on top when there's heavy rains because the water is always comes down to the sea level. There'll be flooding because there is high tide. There's more flooding because sea is not taking the water in; it's pushing it into the city, and there is rainfall. So there is flooding. There is no outlet. So water's tendency is to go low. Same is with the mind. When there is a turbulence, when there is a stressful situation, the mind will take you low. Drinking, illicit sex, gambling, or eating meat or any kind of you know what you call uh, deviation to the mind. All these things they come in when we are in stressful situations mainly. Generally, drinking and illicit sex. This is the two major ones. Sometimes gambling also. So these are the things the mind will take you to. If you're affected. So emotions will always be giving you bad emotions, of course, stressful emotions. They will affect the mind and mind will take you down. But if you can tolerate those emotions, then you will not perform those activities. Lower conscious activities. That is the basis of our understanding. Next. So we'll read to. Did I answer your question, Rishi?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll go to 2.15. 2.15. Yam hi na vyathan yatyanyete
Yam hina
Yam hi na
yitham
vyathayante
yanta
te.
Yam hina yatha yatyanyate
purusham purusharshava
purusham
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 purusharshava
purusharshava
Purusharshabha.
samadukha sukham dhiram
samadukha
samadukkham
sukham
Samadukha
dhiram
sukham
dhiram
dhiram.
Soma amritatvaya kalpate
so
om amruta
Somamrit
amrutvaya kalpate
paya kalpate.
kalpate
yam hina vyat yantyante te
yam
yam
hina
Yam
hina
hina
vyatha
vyathayante
vyathyantante
te.
te
vyatayantya
purusham
ete
purusharshava
purusham
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 purusharshava
purusharshava
Purusharshabha.
samadukha sukham dhiram
samadukha
samadukkham
Samadukha
sukham
sukham
dhiram
dhiram.
dhiram
so amritatvaya kalpate
so
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 amrutatvaya
amrutattvaya
kalpate
amritatvaya
kalpate
kalpate.
yam hiya Yam hina
No.
vyatayante te.
Yam
Yam
hina
Yam
hina
hina
vyatayante te.
vyathayanti
vyathayante ite.
Purusham purusharshabha.
Purusham
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 purusharshabha.
purusharshava
Purusharshava.
Samadukha sukham dhiram.
Samadukha
samadukkham
Samadukha
sukham
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 dham.
Dhiram.
Dhiram.
dhiram
So amritattvaya kalpate.
So
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 amritattvaya
Amritatvaya
amrutatvaya
kalpate.
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 O best among men. Purusha Purusharshabha. Rishabha. Rishabha means bull. Who's the bull? Is he good or bad in share market? Kalpesh.
Bull.
Who's the bull?
Bull.
Bull is the best, isn't it?
Bull is the
Of
best.
course.
Harshad
Yes.
Mehta. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Okay.
no,
Bull.
not at all.
Okay. We'll come back to bull. Forget about Harshad Mehta at the moment. So, Rishabha. Rishabha means the bull. Bull among the Purusha. So, the best among the Purusha. Purusharshabha. Okay. That word Purusharshabha means the best among the Purusha. The bull among the Purusha. Rishabha is bull. Samadukha sukham dhiram. Again, this word, dhira. So, the dhira is very important. Composure. Composure is a result of integrity. Anyone knows what is integrity? Randhir, question for him.
सर
Wrong
जिस
person
बंदे के
talk about
पास
integrity.
इंटेग्रिटी नहीं है उसको इंटेग्रिटी के बारे में पूछते हो.
वो मुझे पता नहीं है कि है कि नहीं, लेकिन मीनिंग जरूर पता होगा तुम्हें, इसीलिए पूछ रहा हूँ.
सर ग्रिट to stand firm in the face of adversity.
Integrity versus honesty. What do you think is the difference?
Sir, a person can have integrity without being honest.
They go hand in hand.
So, what is the difference between those two? Aditi, integrity or honesty? Anyone? What is honesty? Yes, Kalpesh. Okay.
I'll let Aditi speak first.
Okay, Aditi.
Head problem. Go ahead.
You want me to go? Okay. So probably there are two more lines I want to add. Is there are three things I usually look in people. Okay, character, attitude, and integrity. If the integrity is shaky in that person, I don't even look at these two things.
No, that's not
So
the question. The question is, what is integrity?
yeah, so
Okay.
so integrity is a thing where where no matter what the situation is, you are what you are.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Rishi.
I'll try as an example.
Yeah.
So if I commit a crime
Hmm.
and then I come to you and say that I've committed this crime, I'm honest.
Mhm.
But if I don't commit the crime at all because I know the difference between right and wrong, then I have integrity.
Wonderful answer. Wonderful
Right,
answer,
right.
Rishi. Very
Absolutely
well
right.
said. So, to put it in simple terms, what Rishi said, if I am truthful to others, I am honest. But when I'm truthful to my own self, it is called integrity.
Wow. सर मैंने भी तो यही बोला था ना. सिर्फ इंटीग्रिटी का वर्ड है लेकिन अपना सर मैं विरार बॉर्न बॉटअप हूँ सर उधर के नेशनल इंग्लिश हाई स्कूल में इंग्लिश सीखा है साहब
कल्पेश इंग्लिश में बोला है.
थोड़ा डिस्काउंट मांगता ना अपने को
maybe
यार
maybe I couldn't understand. Sorry, Kalpesh. Maybe I couldn't understand.
मैंने बोला ना doesn't matter what the situation is who you are at that time
No, but
whether time is good or
you,
bad.
if you are, it's a truthful, because it's it's the right thing. That, see, for example, the example which Rishi gave, that if you have committed the murder, you go and tell someone that I have committed this murder. That's being honest. You told the truth to others. Okay, you may be a criminal. Okay, but to tell that someone is honesty. But when you know that, being truthful to yourself and not committing at all, you're being internally, you're being truthful to yourself. So, for example, that you may be doing some illicit activity, okay, but you go and tell someone, you honestly you told, but if you still continue doing that thing, you're not you're not following integrity. Although you are going and saying this, you're being honest, but you're not truthful to yourself. You're feeling it is wrong, but you continue to do that. अभी मर्डर किया,
Hmm.
ऑनेस्टी से बोल दिया, लेकिन 10 बार और मर्डर किया और जाके बोल दिया, it doesn't make you good, right? You're honest, but you're lacking integrity. Does it make sense? Integrity is when you know that it is wrong, truthful to yourself, and you don't do it. Yes, Randhir.
Sir, so am I wrong that if you find $100 on the street, right, and किसी ने पूछा मेरा पैसा देखा, and you walk up and it says हाँ भाई मिला है, this is honesty. I mean, could that be considered honesty?
Of course,
Whereas
yes.
if you see that falling and you actually walk across to the person without it being asked and you hand it over, could that be considered integrity?
In both the cases, you're doing the same thing, right?
But sir, एक तो बंदे ने पूछा हुआ है और तूने you've gone ahead and you've given a response.
Yeah, but it is his money, right? Any which ways.
Easiest
उसका ही
will be
पैसा है
to
ना?
put it in your pocket.
I hope you're not, किसी और के पॉकेट से गिरा और तुमने जाके किसी दूसरे को दे दिया. And you're not doing that, right? The same person
No.
you're giving it back, correct? If I'm understanding you correctly.
Yes.
Yeah? और उसके पूछने से पहले दे दिया और या उसको पूछने के बाद दे दिया. Still honesty, right?
Okay. Can I take a spin on that, sir?
Yeah.
अगर अंबानी की जेब से पैसा गिरा and I go and give it to somebody else, is that being me dishonest?
Somebody else. Even Ambani will tell you go give it to someone else, because I think it's expensive for him to bend down and pick up that money.
No. Question to ask you is
I'm
if
just
money
being a
falls
little funny.
if
Sorry.
money
Yeah.
falls out of someone like Ambani, right? And you, instead of returning it to him, you
The
go ahead and
honesty is
return
the
it
same.
to.
You don't see a person and show your honesty, right? Your honesty
Why do
should
you
not
want
be
to give
based
money to
on
someone
the
else?
person.
It is Ambani's hard
Does,
work.
that, that's okay. I
Uh,
mean, whatever you think money is, we're not defining money here. We are just doing an honest work. Honesty is not based on किसका गिरा है पैसा. Honesty is जिसका पैसा गिरा उसको देना है.
Acha. Sucks, man.
Yes, Abhijit.
So, continuing with Randir's example, in his case, his example was he knows whose money it was, whether to give it to him or whatever. But suppose you are
Considering there
walking,
is only one person on the street whose money
yeah,
has fallen.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
I'm just
somebody
taking
comes
that
and
for granted.
asking, somebody is coming and asking, did you see the money? And he gave it back, or he saw the money falling and he gave it back. You are walking on a street, you find money, but you don't find anybody around. Putting it into the temple, what do you call it? because I do it normally in that way. I
Yeah,
don't
that
use
will
that
be
money. I put
that
it
is
into
that
the
is the
temple.
best way of using money. You're making it a Lakshmi.
Yeah,
Normally,
okay.
people make it Maya.
Because sometimes I get confused if I'm doing the right thing because somebody's money it fell off.
Lakshmi should be used in the service of Narayan. Very simple.
Okay,
So you
okay.
follow that, you're doing the right thing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, this the simplest example, Prabhuji, I would give, which many people do on this, is an individual goes to a party, comes back home, and his wife asks whether have you drunk today, and he has beforehand promised to his wife that he will not be having any sort of drinks going forward, but he drinks and comes back, and if he lies, he's dishonest, as simple as that. But if he tells his wife that I've had three glasses or whatever, and he agrees that I have had, though I have promised to you, then I would say he's integral, though he is
No, no, no.
being
He's
dishonest.
honest. He's honest. So if he tells the truth to others, he's honest.
If he
But
does
if he
not drink
tells
at the
to,
party, then
yeah,
he is integral.
yeah.
Yeah, so there
So
are two situations here.
internal truth, when I talk about when you're truthful to your own self, that is when you're listening to your own self. And I'm not saying I'm not against this, this. I mean, people like to do whatever they wish to. That's okay. But you know that this is wrong. Yes. When you do something, एक छोटी सी आवाज आती है, अरे गलत कर रहा हूँ। अब बस उसको कंटिन्यूअसली दबाते जाओगे तो आवाज बंद हो जाएगी यानी इतना पक्का है अगर सुनोगे तो वो धीरे धीरे आवाज आएगी you decide to steal something, you decide to do something wrong, you decide to do something, you drink, you decide to have illicit sex, any kind of this activity, थोड़ा लगता है यार लेकिन अगर उसको कंटिन्यूअसली किया ना तो वो नहीं गलत लगती है या गलत नहीं लगती है वो फिर बाद में and that is a dangerous situation and to come back from that situation to where you were जब आवाज आती थी you need a satsanga. That's how Ratnakar became Valmiki. Is to kill people every day. Daku. He was a dacoit. So he used to kill people and rob them. Every day he used to do that. So he didn't feel it is wrong until he met Narad. So when you have devotee association, when you meet a sadhu, then he will rewind your consciousness back for you. Because he understands. He will bring that spark. But if you again step on that spark and again continuously doing those wrong things, you'll be back again at the same wrongdoings. So integrity is within you. The truth is within you. If you constantly suppress it, then stop speaking. And that truth which comes from inside to keep you integrated. Integrated is joined in yoga. That is Krishna. That is Paramatma. Does it make sense?
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Prabhuji, you
So,
have started a big issue today for me.
sorry, what?
You have started big issue for me by defining integrity. Really, it has helped me a lot.
Yeah. This is defined by His Holiness Radhanath Swami.
Hmm.
This is how he defines clarity. He says clarity of mind is clarity of expressions. So when you act, you know, your mind should be very clear. You should be clear in your definitions. Oh, what is that? So this is his definition. Very nicely explained. Okay. So 2.15 says that, O best among men, Purushar Shabha. the person who's not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. We talk about moksha, we talk about all these things. But let's talk about the eligibility first. Krishna says that. Are you able to hold yourself from inside? Are you steady, composed? We talk about this, cool and composed. लेकिन बाहर से जो दिखता है ना, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो अंदर से हो, और किसी और के बारे में हमें नहीं पता चल सकता. So it's hard to comment about someone is cool and composed. खाली देख के, खाली सुन के नहीं पता पड़ सकता. Whether are you composed, are you steady, your own self? That's what we need to find out. Forget about others. Okay. So Krishna is asking him to be steady from inside. So we'll do quickly 2.16 also today. Please repeat after me. It's a very important verse as well. 2.16. Na asato vidyate bhavo.
Na
Na
asato
asato
vidyate
vidyate
bhavo.
bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Na
Na bhavo
bhavo
vidyate
vidyate
satah.
satah.
Ubhayor api drishto antasta
Uvayor
Vayo
api
Ubhayor api
drishto
drishta
drishtontastva
antastya
antasta
anayostastattvadarshibihi.
anayos
anayostattvadarshibhi.
darshibihi.
Nasato
Masato
vidyate
vidyate
bhavo.
bhavo.
Na
nasato
sato
Nasato
vidyate
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 bhavo
bhavo.
bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
na
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 bhavo
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 vidyate
vidyate
satah
vidyate satah.
satah.
Ubhayorapi drishtontas
Uvayor
Ubhayor
api
Ubhayorapi
drishtontas
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 tva anyostattvadarshibhihi.
tva
tva
anayos
tav
tastvadarshibhi
anyostattvadarshibhi.
anyostattvadarshibhi.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
nasato
Na
Nasato
sato
vidyate
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 bhavo
bhavo.
bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
na
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 bhavo
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 vidyate
vidyate
satah
vidyate
satah.
satah.
Ubhayorapi drishtontas
Uvayor
Ubhayor
api
Ubhayorapi
drishtontas
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 tva anyostattvadarshibhihi.
tva
to
anyos
tva
tastvadarshibhi
anyostattvadarshibhi.
anyostattvadarshibhi.
Aditi, would you like to read the translation?
Sure.
unmute unmute
Hi Aditi, would you like to read the
Aditi,
translation?
unmute.
Uh,
Translation, would you like to read? Thanks.
To us here, truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the internal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both.
So this verse tells there are two natures, material and spiritual. Two natures. Okay. What do you mean by nature? Simple
Your
word in
instinct.
Sanskrit.
Swabhava.
Sanskrit, nature,
Dharma.
nature,
Swabhava.
स्वभाव. अच्छा, ओ उसका नेचर अच्छा है वैसा.
prakriti
Oh, yes. Prakriti. Yes. What is
Prakriti.
Prakriti?
Prakriti is female,
Yes.
uh,
Okay.
and
She lives in
and
Sydney. Sorry, couldn't stop it.
I lost her acquaintance. So
Okay,
um,
so what is Prakriti?
so she's a female version of God.
Uh, no, no. No.
The material world.
Yes, yes. Material world is Prakriti. It is also called as external potency of the Lord. It is an energy of the Lord. Also called as Maya. I'm just Shakti. So there are two different Shakti of the Lord. Hladini and Bahiranga. Bahiranga. Bahiranga Shakti means external energy or external nature. Bahiranga. It's also known as Maya. Are we Bahiranga Shakti? Question for you.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I'll
Mm,
give a bit more information for your
no, I think
understanding.
we are Antaranga,
Hmm.
internal.
Very good. So, Antaranga Shakti is the internal potency of the Lord. So, we are not that. Wait, I'll tell you. We'll come to that. What are we? Will come to that. So, Antaranga Shakti is the internal potency of the Lord. Bahiranga Shakti is the external potency of the Lord. Now, what are we? Now, just in the previous verses, we understood one thing that we are not this body. Yes,
Yep,
correct.
we are soul.
But we are
Yep.
carrying this body, right? Are we carrying this body? Or the body is carrying us?
Body is
Big
carrying
question,
us.
huh? Good
Body
question,
is
huh? Mast
good,
question.
very good question.
But the thing is, nobody is carrying anyone. If you think carefully, if you look at our own existence, we are a mixture of two. Now, the soul which we spoke about is nothing but the internal potency, the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord. That is made up of one substance. And the external potency of the Lord, which is our body, which is made up the gross body, this matter. इस मैटर में अर्थ, वाटर, फायर, इथर, ये सब है, एयर, उससे बनी हुई है बॉडी. And that is matter. That is external potency. So external potency and internal potency, which is the soul, they are moving together. That is our body. That is what we are. That is why we are called tatastha shakti.
What does that exactly mean?
Marginal potency. So what is marginal, if you have understood? So marginal is something which is uh, a
An
subset of two.
incremental.
No. Marginal increment is something different, but marginal area is different. So you're a mixture of two. Where is the chat box here? How do I get the chat box? Here, I got it. I'll paste something. So please open the chat. Have a read. Antaranga
Antarang
Shakti,
Shakti,
Bahiranga Shakti,
Bahirang
Tatastha
Shakti,
Shakti.
Tatash Shakti. Antaranga
Antaranga
Shakti
Shakti
means
means the
internal energy.
internal energy, which is our soul.
Bahirang Shakti means external energy.
Bahiranga Shakti
Tatash
means the
Shakti.
external energy, which is our body. And Tatastha Shakti means these living entities, that is us, or any living entity for that matter. So if you imagine this, that there is this body and this soul moving together. So this combination is the marginal energy of the Lord. So we are a subset of these two. A little bit of internal, little bit of external. ये मिला के हम बने हैं. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, Abhijit.
Sir, as per my understanding, tatastha shakti or marginal potency of the Lord, does that mean that the Lord is having every guna or every type of he is the whole, and
Correct.
among the men, some have, maybe some are good at drawing, some are good at writing, some are good at singing. So that is the marginal potency of the Lord awarded by him to the men. Does that mean like that?
No. That potency is awarded to everyone. That marginal potency, marginal energy is given to everyone. Why is he a good singer, or why is he a good sportsman, or why is he that way? That is because his kshetra is expanded in that area because of his karma.
Then what would be the good example of explaining marginal potency of the
Okay.
Lord?
So marginal is definitely a bit of internal. It is something on the margin. If you understand in very simple terms that there is internal and there is external, you are somewhere here. That means you have the blend of both. Now, the free will of a jiva is such that he is given a choice to connect to with the bahiranga or with the antaranga. It is your free will. The biggest example of the free will is explained in Mahabharata. Just before the Mahabharata war, I think everybody knows this prasanga, past time. Arjun and Duryodhan, they both went to Krishna asking for help. Arjun went and sat, although Arjun came later, Duryodhan came first. But Duryodhan went and sat near the head of Krishna, and Arjun came second, entered second in the room, and came and sat near the feet of Krishna. So when Krishna woke up, he first saw Arjun. So he said, "Yes, Arjun." What can I do for you? Suddenly Duryodhan came. He said, I came first. But Krishna says, I saw Arjun first. So I will listen to him first. So he said, tell me, Arjun, what do you want? He said, I need your help in the war. Arjun asked Krishna. Krishna said that I will not be fighting. But you can take my Narayani Sena if you like. Either me or my Narayani Sena. But I will not fight. Arjun, without taking a fraction of a second, he said, I want you. I don't care about the Narayani Sena. All the weapons, soldiers, Maharathis, Rathis, I don't care. I just want you. He said, but I will not fight. That's okay. I know that. Understood. I hear. I want you. Very clear. Direct. And then he went to Duryodhan. So Duryodhan, then he said, okay, if he is not taking all the Narayana Sena, I'll take it. Although he was happy. Every day, we have this free will. On that margin, you want to connect to Krishna or you want the Narayana Sena. That is why we are called marginal, because we have the choice. The tatastha means English translation of Sanskrit, not very accurate, unfortunately, but tatastha has the free will component in it. But you cannot have marginal and free will together. एक वर्ड बना नहीं पाएंगे वो लोग. Very difficult. संधि विच्छेद नहीं करते ना इंग्लिश का. इंग्लिश में कभी संधि विच्छेद आएगा ही नहीं. You can't break one word into two. कर ही नहीं सकते. संस्कृत you can break one word into 10. एक वर्ड ऐसा पूरा लाइन के जितना होता है. This is the power of Sanskrit. You can integrate, you can derivatives, integration सब कर सकते हो तुम उसमें. Very powerful language. That's why it is very good. Can be used as a machine level language. Anyways, so the idea is that free will is the component for Tatastha Shakti. Whether he wants to join internal or external, Antaranga or Bahiranga. So choice. So the Jiva, that is us, we are the marginal, Tatastha Shakti. Is it clear?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature. So what Krishna says in 2.16 is that the ones who are the seers of truth, who know about the truth, have concluded that the non-existent means the external material body, Bahiranga Shakti, there is no endurance. And of the eternal, there is no change. Yeah. So the external is temporary, but the internal, there is no change. It remains always constant. There is a variable, it's constant. It's always eternal. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So they know what is Bahiranga Shakti and they know what is Antaranga Shakti. Understand? So we'll end our discussion here. We're already gone over time. So it's 2.16. Yes, Randhir.
So, is it possible for someone to follow his Bairang Shakti more, right, as compared to the external component?
We all do that. It's very common.
No, no, no. Is it possible that a person follows his internal energy more
Okay. I
as
thought you said
compared to the
he follows the
external?
Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga is external more than the internal. Yeah. So the
No, no,
choice
no.
is yours. Yeah.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is, what if you follow your internal energy more
Mhm.
and you says, I really don't care as much about the external?
Mhm.
Does that actually make you, is that right or is that wrong?
That makes you dhira. Krishna just said before.
Because it can, I mean, look at it this way: some things can be morally right and legally wrong.
There is no moral. There is no legal. when it comes to the external and internal. We are not talking about legal, we're not talking about moral. All we are talking about is that whether you are able to understand the external nature and the internal nature.
Okay.
Are you
Okay.
able to identify that? Are you
Okay.
able to understand that? So if you look at the previous two verses from 2.13 to 2.15,
Hmm.
we have to really understand that there is something internal which is not changing.
Right.
The external is changing. If we can identify this, what is internal, what is external, then we are on 2.16.
So that's where we go down to eternal and individual.
Eternal and individuality, yes, is the the property, not property in the sense, not the
The
acquisition
nature,
property, the nature or the aspect of the soul.
right, of the soul.
Yeah, it's one of the property of the soul.
Okay.
Yes, it is individual. Yes, it is eternal.
But it's also the nature of it, of the nature of the internal component is also separate from
Correct.
the external. Okay.
Correct. Correct. And what we are to understand. So this is identification.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we should be able to identify everything. Who are we? When we say who am I am the Tatastha Shakti. So to explain it is very simple because when you try to realize it, you do understand that my body changes and I don't even know about it. Others know about it more than me. The mirror knows about more than me. If I don't see the mirror, if I don't speak to the others, I may not be able to know where I'm changing. I can only comment what my outside world is changing. So when I experience this, when I realize this, then I understand that there is something inside which is not changing. There is something which is outside which is changing, which is the body which is changing. So which is the external potency of the Lord? It's the matter. And scientifically, when you see, matter keeps changing. It is not constant.
Mm-hmm.
That's how things wear out over a period of time. They don't remain the same. They change.
Right.
Matter transforms, deteriorates.
Into energy, energy back into matter.
So that we know that matter keeps on changing, but I don't feel I'm changing. So that brings the question, who am I? I have something inside which is not changing. And that Krishna says is the soul. And that soul is the part of the internal potency or the antaranga shakti of the Lord. And because I have the external potency also, I'm sitting in the middle, marginal, tatastha. Does it make sense, Randir?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Now that you explain it properly. Thank you.
Yes, Rishi.
So I understood this is like the way I'm understanding is you're sitting on a fence and you have access to both the sides
Exactly.
of the fence. You
Exactly.
would choose which side you want to go. Why is it
Yes.
easier to connect to the Maya than it is to connect to the internal?
Very good question. Very good question. This is our mind. The mind, our mind is trained like that. Mind is trained. It's like a monkey, you know. A monkey, you train a monkey, Or an animal, you train, he'll do what he's trained to. So the other reason, one because it is trained that way. The other is that there is temporary result, quick result in the external potency.
Hmm.
Temporary, quick response.
So
So,
you
for
you see
example,
results quickly.
not results, I would say, temporary response, I would say,
Response.
and that too temporary. How to explain this with an example? When there is a sweet, I'll give a very vague example. This I give normally, you know, when it's a very crude example. If there is a sweet, okay, say rasgulla. Generally, most of the people like rasgulla. The Bengali sweets are, if prepared properly, not those boxed ones, the plastic rasgullas, no. The real ones, which are served in a matka in Kolkata or in West Bengal.
Right.
Nice, proper rasgullas. Yeah, those rasgullas, very tasty ones. You may be able to eat, you know, one, two, or say five, six. After that, the intake will be very less. It's sugar. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Compared to that, if you ask someone who drinks a lot of liquor, because I've met people, a lot of people who drink tremendous amount of liquor, that is also sugar.
Hmm.
Alcohol is sugar, basically. Sugar, when meets yeast, it turns into alcohol. Am I right, Randhir, Kalpesh? Just to get your expert inputs.
Prabhuji,
So
I
you're
never
talking to
went
someone
into
who's
the
Hare
suffering
chemistry of
Krishna,
this.
diabetic
don't
right
tell me
now.
you don't know about this. Come on.
Prabhuji, I never went into the chemistry.
It is not chemistry. It is a lockdown special.
Uh,
How to make alcohol at home. Simple YouTube search.
so
Okay.
all you need
My
is
friend,
potato.
my
See,
friend
there
used to
you
make
go.
actually.
See, there are more ingredients to it. It's flavored. Yes. Yes. Okay.
You
So
just need
coming
some.
back,
You need some potato and some yeast, and that's about
yeah,
it.
there you go. So yeast is a very important thing here. But generally, what I understand, because I used to live in Tasmania also, and there were these beer factories which we visited to see how this alcohol is made. Sugar, when meeting yeast, it turns into alcohol.
Mhm.
And then they add crystallized or filtered water and some other, what do you call it? Extra minerals to make it healthy beer drink. They call it. Wonderful, isn't it? That's how they sell it.
Uh,
All right. So my point is that there is also sugar, but in a bitter form. It will be difficult to consume in the beginning, but rasgulla is very easy to taste. But the taste of rasgulla ends very quickly in 5 or 6 or 10 maybe. But the taste of that bitter alcohol doesn't end. You can have bottles of it. You will still like to have more till you drop.
Hmm.
Some people, I'm not saying everyone. Does it answer your question, Rishi?
but
Yes,
sir,
I think so. Yeah.
It's easier to have a rasgulla, but it's difficult to get the taste of liquor. It takes time
Hmm.
Sirji,
because you
what if
can't
you
have it.
soak?
When you're
What if
10
you
years
soak
old, you will.
rasgulla inside alcohol?
Yeah. So when you're 10-year-old Randir, you will not get the taste. Just to extend it.
Okay.
So when you're 10-year-old, you will not get the taste of alcohol. It needs practice.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Can you put this recording off? This is not a good example I'm giving in this Bhagavad Gita discussion. But I have to make you understand. Please stop the recording because this will go on YouTube and
It's
it's not
okay,
good.
Prabhuji. It's
No, no,
okay.
no. It's not a good example. I don't like the example. But for understanding, it is very good.
Yes.
So if you understand it, it takes time to get the right taste. But that is a long lasting taste. You know what I'm trying to say?
Hmm. Yep,
Yes.
yep. Also, I think going back to the other
Did
one
it
you said,
answer your question, Rishi? Did you understand what I'm trying to say?
yes, yes, I'm
Yeah, good,
understanding.
good,
Yep.
good, good. Yeah. What was next?
No, no, in that only, like the other thing you said about the training. So one could be
Hmm.
a formal training, like,
Yeah.
somebody
So
always is
training is
related to
that what
material.
you do. See, what is training basically? Training is nothing. See, when we take some training, like I'm basically in technology. So technology, the training, when it's a PowerPoint slide, someone speaking and blabbering and saying something and written somewhere, you'll go to sleep. Yeah,
Yeah,
generally you will be sleeping. Everybody sleeps. Very normal. When there is a training with PowerPoint slides, I just put it on and I'll sleep. And I've learned it in my engineering also how to sleep with open eyes. Anyways, so but when there is a workshop, when there is a repeated task of troubleshooting, you will be active.
hmm.
When there will be something live, like recently I attended one Red Hat Linux training where they were tasks to complete, assignments to do, where you are workshop, you have limited time in 8 hours, you have to troubleshoot and fix issues. That's very interesting. Repeatedly, same thing over and over and over and over. That is called training. When you repeat,
Yep.
go on doing the same thing until you get it right. That's called training.
Yes, past 30, 40 years, we've got training to be associated with the Maya. So obviously, we know that better.
Exactly. That is how we are trained. Like the parents. I'll tell you, I'm not blaming the parents here, but that's a norm. You would see that पढ़ाई कर ले स्कूल खत्म बाद में सब ठीक हो जाए कॉलेज में सब
Hmm.
अच्छा लगेगा ये मैं सुनता रहा हूँ बाद में फिर कॉलेज में गए कॉलेज बहुत डिफिकल्ट अभी ये खत्म करेगा ना पर यूनिवर्सिटी में आ जाएगा सब ठीक हो जाएगा यूनिवर्सिटी इज मोर डिफिकल्ट मोर स्ट्रेस व्हेन यूनिवर्सिटी खत्म करेगा उसके बाद जॉब करेगा ना सब रिलैक्स लाइफ सबको देख रहे हैं भाई सुबह को जा रहे हैं दिन को आ रहे हैं खाना खा के वापस जा रहे हैं जॉब किया जाए मोर स्ट्रेसफुल अब इसके बाद क्या इसके बाद देन योर अब तू शादी कर ले that will solve all your problems. That's the biggest bomb. And then after you get married, you realize, hey, yaar,
Then it starts.
this was this was not the solution. ये तो पहले ठीक था. Repeatedly. But if you look at the parents, they have even they don't know.
Hmm.
They haven't practiced anything in spirituality. कोई शास्त्र नहीं पढ़ा, कुछ नहीं किया. And they हमने शादी की, तू भी शादी कर ले. लेकिन you see, ask them, were you were you successful? Were you happy? We're not sure, but तेरे को भी करनी चाहिए. This how people talk. नहीं नहीं, we don't know, लेकिन ये कर ले.
Everybody does
So
it.
we are
That.
trained that way. We are trained that way. ये करता जा, करता जा, करता जा. You just go on doing, but we never sit down and understand what is the real purpose of my life. And if purpose is the base of any relationship, I'll tell you, that is called a soulmate. If two souls have the purpose to seek super soul, you imagine how would be that relationship. It will be sweet as is, but that is not understood generally. All the relationships, all the activities are only at the external level, unfortunately. That's how this world works. This is how we are trained. पहले तो उसको साफ करना है. And that is why we have mantra. Mantra cleanses the mind from all this, dirt which is placed on our mind. Did it answer your question, Rishi?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Sir, question going back to your last one about soulmates.
Yes.
बंदा शादी करता है, हाँ,
हाँ,
सोलमेट ढूंढता है,
नहीं
सोलमेट
नहीं
नहीं मिलता है,
बंदा
वापस
शादी
जाके
करने के
सोलमेट ढूंढता है. So the
शादी करने
question
के
is कितने सोलमेट्स हैं?
शादी करने के बाद सोलमेट नहीं ढूंढ सकते. शादी से पहले सोलमेट ढूंढना होता है.
So by that definition, sir, since all roads, since there is only one God, Muslim लोग के 4 soulmates हैं.
No, that
Why
is
do we
not.
have one?
No. मुस्लिम के 4 सोलमेट्स हैं. ये कैसे पता पड़ा आपको? This is what I'm asking you. आपका सोलमेट है?
नहीं sir, not
हाँ,
anymore.
तो फिर मुस्लिम का है ये कैसे पता पड़ा? This is the biggest query I have with people.
So I'm trying
दूसरे
to
का कैसे
say,
पता पड़ा?
I'm trying to say is, man, I've basically tried to find it twice, right? By that same definition.
The point is
हाँ.
that it is on our own self, not on others. See, as soon as we start looking at others, we are forgetting there is something is internal. बाहर की दुनिया
So
में बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है हमें, बहुत ज्यादा.
So
वो
Prabhuji,
क्या
what
कर
I'm
रहा है?
trying to find out is
Yeah.
is this concept of a soulmate, is that something that we make up, or is it
No, it is
something
the
which?
purpose. You understand what is your purpose. First, you identify. That is why this identification is very important. Abhi, you understand. If you understand that I am the internal potency of the Lord, and if you try to connect with a person who doesn't understand who's the internal potency of the Lord, there'll be difference of opinion all the time. That's okay. Matabhed is okay. But is the purpose same? Is the purpose to understand and identify your own self? No. If the purpose of someone is to only enjoy the external material life, and your purpose is to find out your internal potency and try to connect with the internal, how will these two people meet? And खुदा ना खास्ता उनकी शादी हो भी गई. It will be very difficult. So, but now after you are married, yeah, then you have a commitment. That is apara dharma. And if it is not your
Right.
soulmate, then it is your apara dharma. You have to perform your duty. Then
I,
you don't
I
run away and
understand
say
that,
no.
sir.
Now अभी गलती हो गई मुझसे, अब मैं सोलमेट ढूंढता हूं. ऐसा नहीं चलता भाई.
No.
You have a
So what I'm
commitment
trying
now.
to, the question that I'm trying to ask is, can you be, can you try to find your, I mean, can you move along to find your way to the Lord without without getting involved with the soulmate?
You are not alone. So we generally a jiva. So at this point of understanding is identification. We'll go further deep in Bhagavad Gita, where we will understand that we are not alone. So if you are thorough, clear about that, I want to take my spiritual path, over a period of time, if you advance, this is what Srila Prabhupada also explains, the people who have actually achieved that goal in their spiritual life, they realize that they are not alone. We are not one, we are two inside. So if we are two, why do we need the third one? but
Right.
but the point is, till you understand that, till you really understand, I hope today we understood that, hope that we understand that, who am I?
Yeah. At least we're trying to.
Yeah, we are in that direction. It took us a long time, yeah, just to get that bit of understanding. Realization is totally different. Huh? Realizing I'm a soul will take, I don't know how long. Maybe lifetimes. Then after that, realizing that we are two, I don't know how long does that. There is a Paramatma also. So for that, It may take lifetime, but then there is an aspect called isolation because you can't be alone. But if your purpose is internalization, if your purpose is to really seek the truth and self-realization, it will be great that if you have a partner who's also in that same process or thinking about it, then the purpose remains the same. So when there is a life, two lives having the same purpose, how easy it is to pair up in a team because the goal is one. एक ही प्रोजेक्ट में काम करते हैं ना दोनों, मजा आता है. So purpose should be the basis of any relationship, but before any commitment, please, not after any commitment. If you are already married and you have the understanding now that the purpose should be same, then you follow your purpose, but you have to do your aparadharma. You have to do your duty as a husband or a wife, as a mother, as a father, whatever. And that will be explained in Karma Yoga. A glimpse will be given in chapter 2 also. 2.47, the famous verse, Karmanyava adhikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phalaheturbhur, ma tisangosta karmani. That we will understand in detail when it comes to the middle of the chapter 2, that you have to perform your duty. But first things first, identification.
Mhm.
That's where we are. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So we had a long discussion today, about 2 hours. So we'll end
No,
it
it was
now.
lovely. Thank you.
No problem.
Prabhuji, it was very nice.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully there is some clarity on these verses because these verses are the ABCD of Bhagavad Gita. If this is not clear, we cannot move forward. The first lesson of Krishna. We are not this body. We are souls. Once you identify it, realization is later. Identify it. Then we can build on it. Okay? So we'll end our discussion here. See you all next week.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.